Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. This is our Let's Play series, playing as the Confederacy, and the war is going well for us. We don't need to rehash everything, we've been going for a while now, but we are about to have a battle here in Western Maryland, yet again. It seems like the battles keep coming over there, with Longstreet's Corps, and then we are also pushing on Philadelphia, which I think if I take Philadelphia, the war will be ours and we will win. We will probably have some battles on the way there. Lee's first corps is going to take sort of the left flank march. He's going to swing north to Gettysburg, maybe far enough north to Harrisburg, and then east on Philadelphia, approaching the city from the west. Meanwhile, John Magruder's corps, which has fought a lot of these battles sort of in central Maryland itself and is fairly beaten up. They've lost about 6,000, or I guess 4,000 here disabled, plus about 2,000 permanent casualties. So yeah, about 6,000 men in the last few weeks. Is going to take the more direct approach directly up this road, but I think with Lee screening off to the left, Lee's going to absorb most of the punishment from the Federals along the way. Meanwhile, a lot of this depends on Longstreet fighting a successful battle here on the left flank at Cumberland against Joseph Carr. He's currently outnumbered by about 15,000 infantry, but we are shifting troops north. Okay, so we were pulling 8,000 troops out of the garrison at Richmond, in Clingman's division, to move to the Washington, D.C. force, a field force near Washington, D.C., the Army of Virginia under General McCulloch. And then we are taking the 8,000 men that are currently there and railing them west to join Longstreet. I guess you can't really see it on that screen. But if we go over here and we scroll all the way to the right, you'll see it's a division under Jubal Early that'll arrive in 3 days, so about 8,000 men. So that'll be a nice addition to Longstreet's force. Meanwhile, we've kind of soft demoted Colonel Van Dorn. We haven't actually like permanently removed him from command, but we took him out of command of the cavalry division and put him in charge of an infantry brigade and replaced him with Benjamin McCulloch commanding the infantry or the cavalry brigade. We've consolidated 2 brigades, one under Stuart, which has about 700 men in Sharp's carbines, one under Colonel John Morgan, which has Maynard carbines, and then we've raised 2 new brigades, or will be raising 2 new brigades in the next 2 weeks, both armed with Sharp's carbines, Thomas Churchill and James Kemper being the commanders there. There's a lot of stuff going on in Tennessee as well, although I don't think there's an imminent battle there, so we'll skip that for now and just kind of move forward. And yes, Kia, the game does allow you to manage building railroads. We actually recently completed one. I'm not sure where it is. It's one of these. Not Pensacola. I think it was Alabama. Does it actually? It doesn't show me, does it? Yeah, it does. Okay. So I believe the one that we recently completed was this one here, sort of in central Mississippi and Alabama. And it brought in about $3 million, I believe, extra revenue over a full year. Currently, it says tax revenue is $317K, but I don't think I have enough resources currently to expand any others. I might actually have enough to do Little Rock, Dallas. It would cost... It'll take 268 days. We do have sufficient resources to do it. Alternatively, we could wait for Little Rock, Memphis. Or Savannah, Tallahassee. I'm not sure the war is going to go on long enough for any of these railroads to be constructed. Screw it, let's do Little Rock, Dallas. It's the only one we're building right now, so it's fine. The POW camps aren't overcrowded, though, Kia or Tris. We actually emptied a couple of our prisoner of war camps in the last video or so. We sent like 30,000 Federals home to get our POW camps down in size. Interventions at 26%. Do you want to take a look at that here? Projects. Buy British artillery, but I don't really care about that right now. can send envoys. So that'll get us up to 30%. Intervention. Are we doing any policies right now? I thought we were. Yeah, Conscription Act. Halt cotton trade might be something we want to look at. As much as it'll hurt our wealth, it will make European intervention go up by 10%. We're still so far away, though. I would do that if it was like the crux of getting us there. I don't know. You can sabotage buildings and railroads when you raid, which we haven't actually done at all in this game. Anyway, let's move forward 3 more days. We got to get to April 5th, I think, for Longstreet to get those reinforcements. So hopefully the siege doesn't take too much out of him. Some units might be routing. Casualties are being taken. Oh, shit. We got a battle in the west. 11,000 Federals versus 27,000 Confederates. Okay. We're moving these troops down. Sure, let's fight it. This wasn't the battle I expected. I would like to go to Shiloh. I've been to Antietam. I've been to Gettysburg. And I was at Perryville when I was fairly young. I was in like high school age, but we didn't really spend much time there. My sister went to high school in North Carolina, to a ballet school. And so we would drive out there to take her to school, and we would drive through, because we're from Wisconsin, we would drive through Kentucky. And one of the times we stopped at Perryville. So we spent a little bit of time there, but you know, it wasn't our destination. So we didn't spend much time. From what I understand, Shiloh's fairly well preserved because it's so isolated. Even now, it's more difficult to like Gettysburg. You can like basically stay like right on the field because one, Gettysburg is such a huge tourist attraction. And two, you know, it's not that far. It's like what, 40 minutes from Baltimore or something like that. So it's fairly close to like major population centers. I believe Shiloh's still fairly remote. They say Shiloh's the best preserved. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that about Gettysburg, mainly because Gettysburg is so, like, it's such an attraction that they put a ton of money into making, like, keeping it in good shape. But I could see Shiloh, if only because it's for many years, like, unlike Gettysburg, which had, what, like a McDonald's for a long time in the middle of, like, the field where Pickett's charge occurred, until, like, the 90s when they did, like, a massive reinvestment into Gettysburg to sort of occupy a lot of that ground. And I think things may have changed a bit then. But Shiloh's in the middle of nowhere, so it never had that build up in the same way. I think the nice thing about Gettysburg, and to maybe a little bit of a lesser degree of Antietam, is they're fairly easy to see, like the natural battlefield whatever characteristics, because Gettysburg has a lot of woods, but there's also a lot of open fields. It's rolling country. There's some amazing panoramas. You can really kind of understand the ebb and flow of the battle when you walk the field, or as I've heard, by the way, I'm so jealous. My cousin's wife apparently got to do a tour of Gettysburg on horseback a few years back. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's take a look here. What's our objective down here? Well, it's a nice big open field. It even calls it Spencer's Plain. Speaking of panoramas, let's just send the guys down this road and we'll advance on the objective that way. All right, Walker, you're commanding the cavalry. Let's move them down that way. What are your cavalry are armed with Merrill carbines. Benjamin Huger, move your infantry down this road here, a little bit further back. Bonham, your infantry will stay behind these woods over here on the left. And Johnson, you'll head down the road here. It's also 8 in the morning, so we've got all day to get into position. And Shoop, move your artillery off here to the right. I am attacking. You can see here on the top it says, attack the enemy. And the objective is this shield here. So it is likely the Federals are deployed near here, although they could be anywhere, really, but they usually deploy near the objectives. I didn't even know the Spanish could intervene. Do they even have Spanish weapons in the game? I haven't even seen anything about Spain. Who would the Spanish intervene on? Would they intervene on the Union behalf if the Confederates were expanding? And would the Union even want them? Oh, shit. Why aren't they taking the roads? Artillery. It says use roads. Why is this one battery going off on its own directly through the swamp? If I was the Federals, I would deploy here. We've fought on this map on the defensive, I think. We usually use this wood line. We deployed sort of at a right angle. And then we had our troops form out along this fence line and then anchor on the swamp. So we have about 5,000 more troops than the Federals, at least currently on the battlefield. Yes, Kia. Terrain definitely affects movement. We're going to keep moving down there. Also, if units get bunched up on a road, it could definitely cause them to slow down as well. Don't go back. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Huh? I ordered the brigade to form line, not the whole goddamn force. I mixed something up there. I still haven't seen any Federal troops. I'm not sure where they're at. Maybe they're further down on the objective. Fog of War does... Do orders get Fog of War effects? Well, if you don't have good line of sight to the unit you're trying to issue orders from, all orders generally originate from the Army or the Corps commander, and if you don't have a good line of sight to where they're at, it can definitely interfere with things. Because orders are transported via courier. So you can see there's a natural delay between Walker's cavalry division and the orders coming from the Corps commander. Where are they? Weather's good. I mean, it's not like it's a storm or something. We shouldn't have these huge delays. Or like line of sight issues. It's not a nighttime battle. Move the infantry up. I'm moving fairly cautiously. Why is this battery going? Most of the batteries followed the road, but this one battery just wants to take the least efficient route. And you can see they're way back here while the other ones are much further forward. There they are. So it looks like they're on the other side of the river. Maybe. At least one brigade's behind a fence on the other side of the river. So maybe they deployed behind the objective. Let's wait here until we've got more of our infantry in position. Elevation, you can definitely see, like, as you zoom in, this is a pretty flat battlefield, but you can see there's elevation here. There's hills here, and up here you can see there's a pretty big ridge line and hill. And the map does have topographical markings. I do have cavalry. I've got 1 brigade. I've got William Preston, 1,400 men with Merrill carbines. Right here. Just waiting for me to give a death speech. The ride of the Rohirrim. All right, let's move Bonham's division forward a little bit. We'll move Huger forward also. There we go. Well, there's the enemy. They're on the opposite side of this river. Yeah, 50% casualties incoming for our cavalry. Probably. Also, the enemy appears to be in parapet trenches. We're at that stage of the war where every battle you've got enough engineer points to like dig your troops into Kingdom Come. What about the crossing to the south? Also, they're going to come across it at me to retake the objective? We could have Huger move across this bridge to the south if there's no one in front of it. They have 8,000 men. 3rd Brigade is 3,000. The 2nd Brigade is 2,500. And the Cavalry Brigade is... So this is their whole force. 8,000 men all right here. Move the artillery here. Maybe they can get a line of sight. So we've taken the objective. Move Huger over the river onto the Federal flank, while Bonham pins them to the front. I guess we should move Walker's cavalry to guard our flank, just in case. I don't think they have any reinforcements coming, but I could be wrong. Lord knows I've been wrong before. Beef, I don't think they have enough men to guard both bridges. Are they coming across the river at us? Oh, bless them. They're going to cross that bridge. All right, these guys have Lorenzas. Don't do that. I don't want you to assault across the bridge. I just want you to engage him at long range. Maybe pin them in place while my infantry deploys on the other side of the river. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, no, don't go that way, cavalry. That was not what you told me when I told you to move. Obviously, the game kind of combines the brigade and regimental. What are you doing? That's not. Why would you do that? Why? All right, let's move this division onto their flank. You know, are these guys shooting at all? Engage the enemy! Open fire! They're withdrawing, it looks like. They're like, screw this, we're getting flanked. Or at least some of their troops are pulling back. I don't think the cavalry have weapons with long enough reach to hit me. They must have short-range carbines, so my Lorenz's rifle are engaging them at a range they can't return fire at. Now they are, it looks like it's giving them credit for being in the trench, so they have that advantage going for them at least. Artillery's taking forever to get into position. The infantry is coming forward, and I think they're going to engage me. Move like that. I don't want you to like actually move in the river. I think I started the forward movement a little bit early. Wow, you're getting shot up pretty good. How about you retreat before you get absolutely destroyed? Portland took quite a few casualties there. Get him out of there before he takes too much damage. Samuel Anderson's gonna fire a few volleys at these boys. Second Brigade 150, 1st Cavalry 100, 3rd Brigade 80 in terms of losses. Our own boys have lost 174. The flanking maneuver is still underway. Wait, why are you broken? You shouldn't be broken. I retreated you out of danger, you goddamn cowards. No charges yet. I'm brave, I'm not insane. That horse artillery battery did not stand up. You're telling me that 40 guys behind cannons didn't hold up against 4,000 muskets? Ugh, what blasphemy is this? And now we're engaging the 3rd Brigade here. Should be a pretty simple and straightforward victory here. I don't even know if these guys are shooting back. They might be out of range. It's hard to believe they wouldn't have Springfields. I can't remember the range on the Springfield. This is basically a Springfield copy though. 500-yard range might actually be a little bit longer than the Springfields. I'm not sure. Double time for the cavalry. Get into their rear. Artillery's still trying to move into position. Oh, I've done charges, Kia. Not recently, because usually I do them in stupid times and get my men wrecked, but I've definitely done them. Who was that who retreated? John Wharton. I shall remember you, sir, as a coward. Charges at stupid times does seem like a historical thing. Fair point. Do we want to do a charge on this routing hit force battery? We can do it. Sabers out! Charge! You can actually see them raise their sabers a little bit. Probably a waste. We'd be better off firing into the rear of the enemy, but whatevs. They do kind of clump together here. Brendley, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're playing Grand Tactician: The Civil War. Is that what you were playing, Brendley? Nice. Well, welcome. We have found ourselves in a battle with which we heavily outnumber the Federals. As the Confederacy, we were fighting in, I guess, central Tennessee, maybe northern Tennessee. I can't quite remember. I just hate, like, these guys should surrender. They're just gonna walk off the field. Once units rout, they're too hard to finish off. I understand why they don't want it to be Total War-like, where you just run over the enemy and then they all die. Because that's not very accurate either, but... God, I can't believe that they're just sitting there with us shooting at them and they're out of range. Granted, they're in trenches, so they're relatively safe, but now they've got men on both sides. I'd charge them if they didn't outnumber me. At least with the individual brigades. Also, I don't think my... Well, these guys have good melee skills. But if we wait till they're routing, then we won't be able to do anything to them. I don't... Why would the Fayettevilles have a 100-yard advantage over the Springfield, though? That doesn't make sense when they were basically a Confederate copy of the Springfield. Let's start moving over the bridge. I plan to charge the cavalry. Otherwise I would dismount them. All of these troops would surrender in this situation in real life. Charge! Have at 'em, boys! Yeah, see, they get away way too cheaply. Or at least inflicting some casualties on this cavalry as they retreat. In a real life scenario, yeah, the Federals would have surrendered, not retreated through our lines, but... I would love to even just get bag one of these brigades. Be cool to stack wipe the enemy, but at least get some of them. I haven't noticed my cavalry being very good as heavy cavalry in this game. Maybe they would be, I don't know. This brigade's getting liquidated, though. At least most of it. But we're chasing him back the other way. Yakety sacks. All right, it's at least a major victory. We've inflicted more than 20% casualties on their force. This brigade specifically. Go get them, boys. At least the brigade that we collapsed 3 of our own units on took heavy losses, and that cavalry unit took almost 50%. My cav got stuck behind my infantry, so now they're like, guys, we want to move fast, but you're in the way. All right. They got away. Did my artillery just open fire on the retreating enemy troops? We got a shot off. Okay, well, it's a victory. Yeah, why did you give battle, Union? There you go, victory, major victory. We took 205 casualties of infantry, 59 of cavalry, 264 total. The enemy lost over 4,000, 2,900 of its 6,000 infantry, 1,100 of its 2,700 cavalry, almost 50% casualties. Victory, boys, victory. There you go. We'll drive them back. You remember when units used to disintegrate all the time? Yeah, I understand it was a compromise they made because Civil War armies didn't really, with the exception of if you were facing General Grant, Civil War armies pretty much didn't surrender en masse. Then again, the positions you can maneuver troops into that they get out of is a little silly too. Don't you make fun of Patterson. He was a fine chap. Was he strictly a political general, or was he good at, was he good in the, like, Mexican-American War? All right, the enemy suffered 4,000 casualties, 2,600 captives. So I will say this for the game. It does at least, like, when you have battles like that where the enemy is retreating and they're getting charged and they're being overrun, the captured casualties spike. If that had just been a line battle and there had been no close engagement, these casualty figures would have been way less. So we did get a big spike in terms of prisoners of war. So that's 3,800 men. Almost half that army will never fight again unless we release the prisoners. We lost 31 killed and 36 missing. That was like a Mexican-American war casualty list. Captured 3,100 rifles and 2 guns. 2,400 prisoners were sent to the prisoner of war camp. Colonel Wharton, who was that? The brigade that just decided to run? I don't even remember. Yeah. These guys. These are the ones who ran, didn't they? Yeah, they were. Well, Colonel Wharton, you've lost face. I'm going to replace you with Danby Murray. He looks like he's actually got decent stats. Sorry, buddy, but you sucked. Okay. Pemberton's actually doing decent for himself the last couple of battles. He's won a few battles. What are these guys? All right, so those units routed. There's more federal troops coming, though. So we routed the Department of Pennsylvania, but it looks like they might be coming in piecemeal. 3,200 men of the 2nd Corps, perhaps. 12,000 in the Army of Pennsylvania. 1,300 in Northern Virginia. Okay, so not that many men. Let's transfer the troops of the Army of Western Louisiana who are already here to Pemberton's command to buff them out. So we've got 2 brigades there we'll strengthen Pemberton's corps with. Probably not enough going to give them a whole new division yet. But we'll at least send these guys. They'll arrive in a couple days. That'll give them an extra 4,000 men to face the Federals with, while these other troops continue to recruit. Actually, 2 more brigades will be done in 3 days. They can defend Nashville with that. And Pemberton will be up to 16,000 troops. All right, let's also take a look at Longstreet's situation with the additional reserves that have arrived. It's an even battle right now, it claims. 30,000 to... All right, guys, that's a little bit on the shorter end, but we've got a big battle coming. We're about to fight the battle with Longstreet in the Eastern Theater, and that's going to be a little bit of a long one. So we will do that in our next episode. I hope you enjoyed this video, though, in this battle where we crushed a small Federal force in the Western Theater. And we'll see how we do in our next video with General Longstreet's corps facing off against 2 Federal corps that outnumber him, not inconsiderably. So until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'm out. Bye-bye.